So now let's talk about the pre-audit. So in a moment, I'll go back into the Gemini platform. The pre-audit is entering the information into the Gemini platform as well as the phone call before you go on site with the client. So let me get us to the Gemini platform. So this is the home screen when you open the Gemini platform. This is what you'll see. As you can see across the top, you see it has Gemini Energy Solutions in that green bar. And then on the right-hand side, it has Create Audit, Crunch, Sync, Upload Image, and then those three dots that I just described. Each time that you are about to begin an audit with a new client, you want to make sure that you hit Create Audit. This is very important because if you just begin typing in information without hitting Create Audit, it will not save to any particular entity, and therefore you will have wasted your time and energy. So always make sure that you start with Create Audit. I clicked Create Audit, and now what I'm going to do is add a tag for it. So usually this will be the client's name. So I'm just going to do shorthand training, and autocorrect is trying to make me say tint. And I'll do training July, for example, and I'll save that. So now my audit has been created, as you can see right here. So on this left-hand side, these are different audits that have taken place or are taking place. And what you'll see is you want to make sure that you are in the audit that you just created. And the way that you can see that is up in the top right below that green bar. You see it has Training July that I just named it. So that's how you will know that you're in the proper audit that you have created. From there, you're going to enter your information. This is currently the name function is currently a drop down. So of course your name will be added as an option. You'll enter your email address and phone number. And this is just to make sure that we have, that it's clear who has done the audit, or at least who began the audit, so that if we need to, if there are any questions internally, or if somebody needs to go and find that audit, they can easily identify who they need to speak with in case there's any concern there or any questions. Then we want to start with general client info. So a lot of this information is information that you can fill out before you get on the phone with the client. So things like the name of the individual you'll be speaking with, their position, their email address, phone number, address, yada, 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 all information that you will likely be able to fill out before you get to the phone call. And the purpose of filling out as much information as possible before you get to the phone call with the client is to ensure that your client interaction time is maximized. So you don't want to spend a lot of time with the client asking them all of these facts that are an easy Google, or we might already have it with within our contract with them or anything like that. One other thing that you may notice is that there are some fields that have an RQ, like this name field right here. That means it's a required field, which means you won't be able to save information without filling out that required field. So if it is not a required field, it's still information that we deem necessary. Otherwise, we wouldn't have given it a field. But definitely want to make sure that you have all of the required fields filled out. There are going to be some items that you may need to speak with the client specifically about. And so those may be things like their actual operating hours, especially now during this time. Some people may have different operating hours than they have what's posted on Google or whatever the case may be. Things like the area of the building. So these are questions that you want to make sure that you take the time to ask the client about. In addition, these may be some items that the client might not have information available for you immediately, which is another reason why they are not required fields. So some of this information the client may not have. If they don't have it, what you want to do is request it for them, or let them know that it's something that you will be looking for. And they may have like a maintenance individual or someone like that who actually does have access to this information that's just not available during the time of your call. There's the major thing that I want to show you all is right here at the bottom. At the bottom, you see the word save in blue letters. This is something that you want to click as often as possible, of course, within reason. So you don't want to type in a field and then scroll all the way down and click save again. But you want to make sure that you're doing it within reason and as frequently as possible, because this will save all of the information that you have input into the fields within the platform. It'll at least save it to your device. So that's with or without internet connection. If you click save at the bottom, it will save all of that information to your device. We'll talk in a few moments about how to get it so it's actually synced to Gemini. So want to make sure that you're doing that. I tend to suggest that the same way, with the same frequency that you might click save if you were working on a big paper or a big project or report, that's how frequently you want to make sure that you're clicking save when you get that information filled out. So I'll pause here